We are lucky, I shall say, to be joined by Randy Ambrosie, fresh off your announcement of your intention to retire from Commissioner of the Canadian Football League. This segment is The Extra Point, brought to you by Fraser Tolmie, Member of Parliament for Moose Jaw, Lake Centre, Lanigan, fighting for Saskatchewan in Ottawa. Commissioner, how did this come about?
Scott Banda, who, by the way, if you don't know Scott or know much of him, he is just a remarkable person. He's been the board chair now for, it's been about 3 years. Scott and I talk a lot, and we've been talking a lot about kind of what's on the other side of, in the foreseeable future. There's the media rights. Then there's ultimately going to be another CBA. And we were just talking about kind of where I wanted to position myself against those activities. A good conversation with the Board of Governors. And look, I feel so good about what has happened over the last 7+ years. I'm very proud of where the league is. I remember sitting in this room at a time early on when people would say, Randy, you got to start marketing, and what's going to happen to our major markets?
The Alouettes just made an interception. That's why Rider Nation is cheering inside Harvard Studio 620 Lounge.
And I feel so good about all of those things. It's a good time for me, and I feel I love this league, and I love all of you, by the way. You're the fans of the best part of the Canadian Football League, and it was just a good time for me. And so here I am, made the announcement today. I get to get up tomorrow morning. I'm the commissioner tomorrow morning, and I'll be the commissioner for many mornings to come until they find my successor. And then I want to hand off a real nice handoff to the next commissioner, wish that person, maybe give him a hug, some free advice, and then I'm just going to be a giant CFL fan.
Yeah, Randy, when this was announced, it kind of made me think about my last season with the Riders. And we had a tough year that year, missed the playoffs, but it was a good course. So I felt like I wanted to stay and contribute. I felt like I had some unfinished business, and then that team did turn it around in a couple of years and win a Grey Cup, so went on to achieve some great things. So do you feel like you have some unfinished business at this point, or how are you feeling about it?
There's always going to be something, you could, if you are through that argument, right? You always need to stay because there's another Grey Cup on the horizon. I am very, I'm very proud of what we've accomplished. I think the league, look at the ownership, has never been better than it is now. I think the game itself, you look at, yesterday we had a goal line stand to finish one game and a rouge to finish another. We're just right now watching a game that's basically going to decide the first and second place in the West. The game is in a really good place. The Canadian talent is as good now. I think it's the best generation of Canadian talent. We've got global players that are shooting the lights out. It's just a nice time for me. And I've asked my family to give me a lot of time to do this job the way I'd love to do it, which is to be with all of you. But I'm looking forward to spending some time with Barb and the girls and enjoying my family. So, no, it's a good time for me. And if the next commissioner comes and does something super spectacular, I'm going to take credit for it anyway.
There you go.
Full credit to you, Commissioner Ambrosie. This interview was scheduled before the news came out. You easily could have ducked it, but you're here talking proudly about the Canadian Football League. If you would look at your tenure, are there some things that you wish you could have gotten done in that time? Because a lot of people, how interested they are in a 10th team.
Yeah.
Would that be one of those things, or what would you look at?
Oh, 100%. Look, I look at where we were in 2019. The momentum was building in Atlantic Canada, was building in Halifax, and I thought, okay, this may be it. And then COVID just, knocked us down and took all the wind out of our sails. It's always going to be, I think it needs to continue to be a priority for the league. I believe that a 10th team really is the game changer for the CFL. I didn't get it done. Maybe some ways we set the foundation for the future, but I just believe it has to happen. It didn't get done under my watch. I'm going to be rooting like heck for the next person to get it done.
Is there anything that we might not know about that you were working on and wanted to get out there or wanted to have as an initiative that you wished happened, or did most of it end up in some form or fashion getting done?
It's a great question, Justin, but I might reposition it just to say this. I wish we could have done more of what we are working on. Wish we could have pedaled faster and got more momentum, but we have a lot of momentum. And one of the things that definitely hurt us was the 2020 pandemic. Losing that season, I think it's an undeniable truth that was a setback for us. But we've got a lot of momentum now. You look at all of the major metrics. Are all. Look at the three major markets. We got fan growth in our big markets. Our social media platforms are exploding with success. We've got. Again, talk about ownership. We covered that already. I just think we got a lot of foundation. I would have loved to have done more. I don't know exactly what that means, but I just wish we could have done more.
In terms of the ownership situation, I think you could make an argument that it's in the best place it's ever been in league history. Do you need that first before you try to get a 10th team?
Well, one of the things that I wanted to get us off was the treadmill of having to worry about the next crisis. Because that's an energy sucker. Like when you're worried about what you're going to do with a team that's in a bit of trouble, that's a problem. Larry Thompson, who just as you all know, bought the Edmonton Elks. Larry is an exceptional man, and I woke up the day after we made the announcement feeling so much different about Edmonton because I don't have to worry, but I know what Larry's going to do in Edmonton. And I look across the board, we have just got strong, committed owners. So that part, once you get that in place, then you can start looking onto the horizon. When you're in those moment-to-moment, almost a crisis, now you're not so much looking out. You're just trying to get to tomorrow. So I think it's a different environment. It's gonna bode well for the next leadership of this league, and I think the next leader is going to take this league to fantastic new heights.
When you look over your time, and anybody new in any role might make, I guess we'll call it some mistakes at the start and then learn from it and be better. Are there anything that stick out for you just being in that chair? Because I think a lot of people think, well, it's easy. You're the CFL commissioner. You wave a wand and you do this. You wave a wand and you do that.
Well, I can tell you, if there's a magic wand that came with the commissioner's office, nobody showed me where it was. Okay, I'll just start there. Yeah, you know what? It's, again, Justin, it's an insightful question. And it is because it's not a job that comes with a magic wand. You don't have command and control. I come from businesses. When I was this chief executive, I had a lot of control over the day-to-day operations of the business. And this one, you manage by influence. You're trying to get at least the majority. You're trying to get everybody on side, and all the markets are different. The businesses are at different places. This is a job where you have to exercise patience. You got to really be committed to communications because you don't get to be a unilateral decision maker. If I could have better understood that early on, I may have been more effective earlier, but I definitely worked at my craft. I tried to learn from it. I did learn that you can't aspire to wanting 9 teams to be on board for everything all the time. It just doesn't happen. You have to start by wanting to get a majority. And then you build an add-on after you get to the majority. But no, it's a great job. It's a challenging job. It's been the greatest honor of my lifetime to be the Canadian Football League commissioner. And I wouldn't do a lot differently. I wish I could have done more.
Will you have influence on who is the next commissioner?
I don't think so. If the governor, I think the governors know that if they ask me for help, they'll get it. And if they ask me, I will respond in the most positive way. But I think this is a group of governors, a very strong group, very confident group. I think they'll figure out what they want, and then they'll go to the marketplace. And I hope whoever they find is going to take whatever I've been able to do and build on it, and I'm confident they will.
What's next for Randy Ambrosie?
Well, my wife asked that very same question, and I'm going to start by, I said to Scott Banda today, I want to do every day until my successor starts. I want to do every day with excellence. I want to make sure nobody thinks that I'm doing anything but giving this thing my fullest effort. After that, I think it's probably going to take a little time to just, enjoy life and spend some time with Barb and the girls and slow down a little bit. But there's something out there. I feel there's something out there on the other side of this. I don't know what it is, but for today, I'm just super proud of my relationship with both of you, with this league, with all of these great fans, and I'm going to enjoy the moment. I'm going to enjoy Grey Cup in Vancouver, and I'm enjoying these amazing football games.